So, very good morning, all of you. Good morning because it's 11:45, and I'm really excited to share a lot of things with you all today about the current market situation which has been going on. A lot of volatility, a lot of things which have been pretty crazy for the retail public and for everybody in general, because you are seeing within seconds stock move few percentage points within minutes, and in that sort of volatility trading can be challenging, and moreover a one-sided downtrend. So a lot of things which are interesting have been happening, and we're going to discuss some important things. Before I begin, a lot of you have been connected with me through these live sessions. I welcome you all. Some new faces as usual. I welcome the new faces. It's not possible to take out all the names at the moment, but yeah, we will welcome you all. And if you have any questions, you can ask regarding anything which we did previously, and so we can discuss those things. And on a casual, cool, and simple note, we need to approach the market as simply as possible so that the people who are watching this video on YouTube also will be able to understand. Secondly, those who are watching this video on YouTube, down below is the link for my Telegram channel. You can follow me over there, and of course you can join any of my courses which are the paid ones, and have a lot of free content on YouTube to get a clear idea about how markets and trading is taught by me. So very good morning once again. Any questions you want to start with? I'll take up questions in the beginning, otherwise this sort of pile on in the end. So I was wanting to take up questions. Otherwise, let me just start with my charting software, and we all can see now how the market has been behaving recently, right? So this is Nifty, taken off most of the indicators. Oh, I traded Apollo Hospital. So very good morning, Shakti ji. Good question you've asked. What did I trade? Traded. I traded Apollo Hospital and Axis Bank today. So let's just cut open what are the trades which I took today. So Axis Bank for me has been something very wonderful. It is in a strong and uptrend, which is confirmed. So according to my Elliott wave counts, it has been 1 second. Yeah. According to my wave counts, everybody can see my screen. Raise your hands. Raise your hands if you can see my screen, and you can raise your hands. Everybody, new people, raise your hands. Thank you so much. Newbies, okay, everybody knows how to raise their hands. Great. So if you want to raise your hand anytime, you can do that. So yeah, according to my wave counts, and according to my long-term projection, I see a very long-term uptrend in Axis Bank, because we have taken this as a particular impulse which has ended, and impulse which has begun is over here. So this could be a wave one of sorts, and there could be a correction, and these could be a one of three of sorts, and this could be a one of three of sorts. So not going too much into that, I mean to basically say that my longer term view on stocks where there is a lot of bullishness, I want to look into those stocks anytime when there's such corrections like this. Now we saw the other day when market fell that Axis Bank was actually one of the outperformers. It took up, after taking a spike down move, it took support, and really within the 1 hour moment, only 1 hour, it went back up. So the support it took was at very strong levels, which were the previous breakout levels. Everybody can follow me, I hope. See, all the resistances are becoming the supports, right? So these are the support levels which are very crucial, and this zone is where Axis Bank, sorry, has taken a support. It has also showed sort of a hammer pattern. Now this is one evidence number one. Evidence number two, I always say that the wick area of this pattern, the wick area of this lower wick, okay, this long lower wick, the wick area is a potential support zone. So potential support zone where we see two more hammers being formed in the last 2 days. One is yesterday, one is today. Now, very honestly speaking, I was not perceiving a very bull move, so I did not decipher this move yesterday. But today, when this started moving after the first hour of selling, when this started moving, it was showing not just outperformance for intraday, it was showing that it is breaking out from this range. So after this green candle, I went long as it was going up and I exited my positions later. So this is the rough idea about my trade today on Axis Bank. Now another candidate which has a long-term plus, a long-term bullish view from my end is Apollo Hospital. So I really feel that it's still a strong buy in terms of short term. However, I'm not taking any gospel truth. I'm not declaring anything over here. This is meant so that you all learn. And I choose not to sometimes because people kind of tend to take things very blindly and suddenly they want to move. But yes, I still feel that there is more trend possible over here, even though I have taken my positions out. And in the morning, one could see this base formation again, the similar kind of formation, a long lower way. In this, there's a range and this double bottom pattern. So this double bottom pattern, you can see. I'll come to that, Ashokji. Thanks for the. I'll come to Yes Bank. Yes. So this is the double bottom pattern. Okay. So this has been a very interesting trade also, and these are small scalps because the third trade which I took was on Bank Nifty. So first of all, I was earlier short, so I had some puts which I exited in the first hour. And then later, when I saw a combination of this along with this, so what we see over here is a good morning star pattern. Not good morning, but a good morning star pattern. I think that was a very lame joke, but sometimes jokes are necessary. A good morning star pattern. So this is piercing through more than 50% of the previous candle. And right after that, there is a very strong hammer placed where the lower wick is actually showing me a move inside this green candle and this is not being able to sustain. So this is very strong. It is just gathering the steam to go up. This is showing me it is gathering the steam to go up. So I went long in these areas. Actually, I went long in two stages. A little bit long I went here, little bit long I went here. And then I exited my positions also. And then a small scalp was there on Nifty. I had taken a put and made a very small amount in terms of this, but quantity was there. So here scalp was there. So overall, with a lot of active markets, it's good to take some trades, enjoy some movements, but then also remember one thing that these are not the kind of markets you see day in and day out. You also see markets which which do weird things at times. And now coming to the next trade which I'm going to talk about is Bajaj Auto. So Bajaj Auto was one candidate which I got from my system analysis, and over here I had gone long Bajaj Auto. So that is why taking so many positions I choose to exit uh, Apollo Hospital, Bank Nifty, and Axis Bank a little early because I didn't want to carry a lot of positions. So this is Bajaj Auto, and I mentioned it over here also, right? And I'm still holding long position on Bajaj Auto with some trailing stop loss. So that's fine. That's fine. That can go on. And these are very good morning. See, when the open of the morning, and you can in the indicator factory course, I'll be showing how one can make a scanner out of it. This is the 5-minute chart, just to show you that the open in the morning, okay, the open in the morning is at the low of the day. Now this is showing me good levels of bullishness. When the open in the morning is at the low of the day, it is bullish. When it is showing bullishness, and of course I have to mix it with other variables. And the other thing is that when a market is falling, the open of the day is the high of the day, okay, or the high of that particular candle, then it is showing a lot of bearishness. So these are the kind of little things one needs to keep in their mind when they are trading. Okay, when they're trading, they need to keep these things in their mind. And then after that, then and after that, I had a very particular RSI input, which I think someone from the current batch over here, someone from the current batch, anybody from the current batch over here, I had a very important RSI input. Now that RSI input, you can see, okay, some people are here, which will be also again reiterated in the indicator factory course. Why has Bajaj Auto taken a support over here yesterday? Sorry, day before yesterday. Why has Bajaj Auto taken and made a wick over here? You can figure out. Let me make the RSI, then you will understand. Now, of course, what I have taught them is no magic I can teach anybody. These are a lot of practice examples. You can see these areas, and you can see these areas on RSI, how range shifting has happened, and you can see how support has been taken over here. So when I was doing my homework, Bajaj Auto came on my list, right? Okay, who is from the current batch? Can you raise your hands to show me? You understand why it has taken support over here? So just looking at the RSI, it helped me come to my homework. Thank you. And then, then after the gear shifting of RSI, which it showed me, I was expecting that this correction get over. So when this correction was getting over, you can see again, this is the hourly chart. So I turned it to the 15-minute chart, and in the morning, around these areas, I could go long. Okay. So keeping that in mind, and then getting a 40 rupee move, not a bad thing, and getting an immediate move moreover. So I like to go towards move that are happening with high probability and immediately. Now, amidst all the kind of bearishness which was going on, I will be very honest. It was not very easy to go and take long positions until this market really started showing good moves. So what the market tone is showing us is sometimes very important for us to keep a track of, so that we can take trades confidently. And till yesterday, since I was a bit bearish, I had Bank Nifty puts. I was still a bit bearish, but nonetheless, I could take some call on the fact that um, what we are seeing in the markets, we markets have a habit of moving in extremes. Okay, in my previous video, which I spoke about market mayhem, I also said that in the short term, I have a bearish view. Okay, but then we have to understand there is a matter of breadth, there is a matter of participation, and there will be stock specifics which will perform very well, and there will be stock which will not perform so well. But in the end, we have to decipher from the point of view that market can show extremes. Now these extremes, if I would plot the RSI over here again, if I'm plotting the RSI on the 15-minute chart, you can see the lowest RSI we have got into has not been less than around 20 region, 20-25 region. So that is not super bearish. However, however, when we are seeing some divergences started to take place, like today, this is showing me that yes, probably the market will show some corrective move. That is a pullback or sideways movement. Now within that, what comes within my range, I have to see. And according to that, I will play it out. Now, Nifty was not so attractive, so let me just put Bank Nifty. How it came about was really nice and beautiful in terms of the bullishness it started showing. And then yesterday, these were the regions where Bank Nifty has broken the support for, and this has become the resistance. I'm still expecting that it has a possibility of going down again. Although I'm not going to be too adventurous with this kind of a volatile market. So I get in and get out, I get in and get out. But yes, considering the fact that these supports were broken, and until we are trading below these support zones, it is something difficult to call. So let these areas be tested 25,200. Let these be tested. Let there be some sideways or corrective movements. And then if it breaks it, then it will gather enough steam to break it for a better sort of movement and might take a few days time. So that is my current inference on Bank Nifty. On the other hand, yes, if it doesn't sustain above these areas, it can still have a possibility of going and making new lows in the short term. But don't be scared because see, markets will move in extremes. We saw an extreme movement over here on the weekly chart basis. We saw an extreme movement again over here. They tend to go up more than they are supposed to, and they tend to go down more than they are supposed to. So nothing to be scared of. Someone was talking about Yes Bank. Let's discuss Yes Bank. Okay. Now, Yes Bank showed a very interesting chart to us. It has taken a fall. I've explained how Yes Bank has been moving in the video which I made on the market mayhem. Those who haven't seen the video must see that video, and there's a lot to take away from. Now, you see, Yes Bank had some fundamental news also going hand in hand, and possibly for technical reasons which we have discussed. We have already discussed that part. For the fundamental part, so since I do not discuss too much fundamentals ever, I will not go too much into it. However, there were catalysts which caused such big movements, and in the end, after all these kind of movements that were going on in Yes Bank, we saw that the first pullback, this entire area has been covered again. So this is showing us that in the panic mode, a lot of people were selling and the market absorbed that. Yet market is trying to go and make lows below that. That means there's an extreme sense of bearishness. It's not just the panic. This is showing proper trading, not just panic. So that is showing all these kind of bearish cues still, to be very honest. And DHFL, somebody was asking, I said that about DHFL, that not necessary that it will have to go just down and just up. Markets just don't go down and just don't go up. Yesterday, what we saw has been a pullback, and I don't want to touch a stock until it's like something significant as a setup I can see over there, and that too depending on what time frame I do see it. Any other questions? You're welcome to ask. Okay, I'll dissect Bajaj Auto again. You said so. One second, sorry. And you guys are free to feel free to ask any other question. One second. Yeah, so dissecting Bajaj Auto again. So we saw in the last few months or so, Bajaj Auto has given us a very ferocious fall after a pullback, right? So there has been a strong pullback, and over here we saw a lot of selling. Again, whenever we see a sharp selling or sharp rise, okay, we must admit and understand that markets don't just go down and just don't go up. So having a pullback from here is not a one-day job. Okay? It has taken time to build up this move. This is the basing area where it has built up the move. Now coming to an understanding that there is a basing area. Okay. On a very simple language, I'm saying in a very simple language. This is a basing area. Okay. So this basing area will be difficult to penetrate once it is broken out from. Okay. Now, in the knee-jerk reactions of such strongly falling markets, it is possible to see these kind of lows, right? But still, since this is a basing area, it acts now as a support zone, a potential support zone. So we are likely to see some bounce which comes after, right? So that is the inference which came from yes, bank Bajaj Auto. Now, yes, I'll discuss the stocks which are coming in the messages. Let me finish this first. Yeah. Now, secondly, the lower wick region which we see over here, right? And in the past, all these zones are very strong support areas. Mixing that up with you can see the open and the low are very close to each other, or they are the same. You can see the open and the low on the right hand side of the screen. It's written for this candle. So this became my reason for suggesting Bajaj Auto as a strong pullback candidate. Now, why is a pullback? Is just to be conservative. Of course, it can go and make a new trend, but obviously those things will take time. It will just not go up at once. It will go up, down, and all that. And then I take up Titan, the next this thing by Shakti ji. Shakti ji, congratulations. He has been one of the current batch students, and he took some really nice trades recently. One of them, his opinion on Titan is worked out very well. So the other one was Jubilant Food, so we'll take that up once we have done that. So yes, Shakti ji, which time frame of chart do you want me to see? Yes, Ashok ji, I'll discuss that point. I just read your message. Okay, so 15-minute chart is what we are looking at, right? And the daily chart. So on the daily chart, we saw yes, Titan has given us ABC waves. So where there have been three-wave pullbacks. Okay, so three-wave pullbacks have been there, showing us that these lows are taken out and there is enough bearishness to continue. Again, from this consolidation, supply area was created and this became resistance zones. So we saw continuously the prices whenever they pull back in this area, they have done something interesting. So this is the point where Shakti actually picked it up. That's about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 days back around this patch of the move. And I think 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I think these are the times when he said that there are patterns here to go short, right? Am I right, Shakti? Is this the one? Can you tell me the date and okay, fine, yeah. So this is the very valid pattern. Thank you again. This is a very valid pattern where there has been a structural fall and there has been a low. Now this low is tested again, and when a low is tested again, doesn't mean that it will have to take a support and go back up. It is showing me over here at point number 2 that first of all, yes, I've come down to a low. I'm pulling back. Yes, I've come and retested the low. So this is showing me that this support is validated. Now if it breaks this support, more is to follow on the downside, which happened. So it broke the support and more followed on the downside. Now what if you miss the move? No problem. These supports are now the resistance areas. So you look at the market when it's strongly pulling back. Okay, these are resistance areas, which again make lows towards this. So Titan, for that matter, has been a downtrend. And let's see in the broader market where it has come. It has come to a broader support area. So these are the points where there are potential bullishness also. So after a point, you don't touch it. Until a trend is not giving you an additional acceleration, you don't touch it. So this is how we'll have to look at things. Okay. And then as we are speaking, there has been some bullishness which has entered Nifty. Let's check out Bank Nifty. Okay, it's sustaining, not bad. I'll keep an eye on it. I keep a very light and mild eye until I see something very significant on the charts. Okay, so that is how we're going to look at it now. and I have some more questions which are coming. Okay, yeah, so I'll go back there and then we'll go back to Yes Bank. Yes. So on Titan, there is a head and shoulder also. Now, the chart you were particularly looking at, the scale was different. I do see that there has been a high and the second, so it can be called an inverse cup and handle pattern where there has been a throwback. So these two levels become super important for me. One is this one, and the other is this one, as per intraday. So this is what I can see on my particular chart. Your scale may be different, so that way. Now, Yes Bank, yes, a lot of things happened with the overnight news, but again, what can we do about it? As traders, we have to understand it did not sustain these areas, and probably if there was a technical inference, somebody liked, they could have gone short on it also. Personally, I don't want to comment more on that because these are markets and sometimes these things happen. So we have to be careful. As long as you are not against the trend, as long as you're not buying in the falling market, you're doing a good job. In a sharply falling market, if you're not buying, you're doing a good job. So that is fine. It's completely fine. Now breaking it up, the Yes Bank chart again. Now these areas again, potential pullback could have been expected. But you know, when you are trading in a stock and in a matter of minutes it is going up and down and trading between a big range or trading between range choppily, you don't want to be very active in trading it. Today morning, however, when it broke out entire day's range yesterday, so just not guys, this is one question and problem people have. They ask this question very often: how do I understand if this breakout is a strong signal or not? Okay, okay, is a breakout strong signal or not? Yes. So you have to understand: is this tested how many times? The upper part of the range tested how many times before it breaks? How many convolutions have been made? That much is the price showing me a steam that it has the power to go up. And since it's an overall falling market, that upside may be really limited. However, it does show me some power. So that is there. Now this is a 15-minute chart. Now while you're tracking it, you will have to see that there is a breakout and hold on to the trade. You will see that there will be dips and all because this move is a pullback after all. So pullback will have these kind of dips, etc. But you have to hold on to that kind of a trade if you're convinced with them, right? And someone else is asking something. Okay, Ashokji is asking whether or not is it that indicators can give a really strong signal in the volatile markets. See, Ashokji, in volatile markets, everything can give very strong signal. The reason why indicators, because people don't read them very carefully, or they want to read them along with the price and they want to trade in tune with the market. That will not happen. The indicator reading has to be literally separate from any other kind of reading. But yeah, why not? You get a lot of signals. You get a lot of signals in terms of whatever parameter and reading and indicator you choose. I personally look at a combination of indicators. So those who were in the introductory webinar, though how many of you were in the introductory webinar of Indicator Factory? Raise your hands, please. How many of you were in the Indicator Factory introductory webinar? Okay, some of you were. Okay, some of you have seen it on YouTube. It's on my YouTube channel. Okay, no problem. So those who were good, those who weren't will try to grasp it now. So when we are talking about Bollinger Bands, okay, that within a certain particular candle, okay, it is touching the lower band and then moving towards the upper band. So there is a candle with only a difference of three intervals, 1, 2, 3, on the 15-minute chart, okay, which is showing me both a touch below the lower band as well as a close above the upper band. So these things get me certain kind of bullish inferences. Now a touch below the lower band is not enough. It is going all the way penetrating to the below lower band. So there are technicalities around it, difficult to explain in the web right now. But yeah, there are many signals, indicators used wisely and interpreted correctly. One can understand and that is not a problem. Now again, the Mohak T20 system. Now, for example, HCL Tech, somebody, from my students has seen the T20 system and was using this today morning. And you can see still now it's going up. So T20 system, in the first hour, there needs to be this thing. So I'll just hide this to make it clear. Okay. So the T20 system, and I'll put the T. Just give me 1 second, guys. I'll put the T20 system right in front of you. 1 second, please. Now, before the indicator factory course actually started, I had shared with a core group of students certain principles and certain systems just to see how they're liking it and how they're grasping it. Right? So, one of the students who has been running that, okay, uh, the T20 popped out a few stocks, and one of them was this. Now, you can see these are three particular averages with different parameters which I have taken. Okay. Okay. Now, to understand more about T20 system and the parameters, you must join the indicator factory course. The whole idea is the volatility, which goes to the extremes, and whenever three different moving averages, okay, are close to each other for a very long period of time, okay, they end up showing me a volatility crunch in three different time frames. So three different time frame. So therefore, whenever they are close to each other and the market opens in the first half an hourly candle, that's at 9:30, after the first 15 minutes, if there's a close above all these three in the half an hour candle time frame, then you go long. Because markets move differently in bull markets and differently in bear markets, that is why this particular thing is meant for the bull moves, not the bear moves, and the other things meant for the bear moves, not a problem. But you need to keep these things in mind, right? And then you see that when these two are showing me a blast above the moving averages. Now I go long over here. So yesterday there was a T20 trade and then it went higher. Okay. Now some of the rules sometimes don't get this thing until you understand the other rules. Okay. So don't just go blindly go long on any day, right? Uh, but there are other rules also, which you can see the video and get a good idea from. It's on my YouTube. It's called Indicator Factory Introductory Webinar, and I'll post the link also downward in the description box for your convenience. Okay, so he went long and made a decent amount of money with HCL Tech within the first 1 hour of trading. So that kind of situation is very common. Okay, but you have to wait for the markets that show you such trades. So sometimes you don't get such trades very often. Sometimes you keep getting such trades. So it's an affair you will have to get used to. But yeah, if you are doing a systematic based approach of trading, one second. Yeah, if you're doing a systematic based approach trading, then you need to line up your entire thing very, very clearly. Okay. So I'll give you an example. Here there was a T20 buy on Hexaware. Now this is on, I think, on a Thursday or Friday. So there was a T20 buy over here. And see, you can see the moves which have come about after that. Right? So that's pretty big for a 400 rupee stock. 10 to 14 rupees is pretty decent for an intraday in 400 rupee stock. So there will be these kind of things. Let's see what the markets are doing now. Okay. See, again, this is what I meant. Intertwining of all the moving averages, they lead to big moves. Intertwining of all the moving averages lead to big moves. Intertwining of this. So since I was not on my best of health, I could not trade this day. But of course, if I would traded short, it would have been a bombastic move. So the intertwining of these moving averages, when they come close to each other, they show volatility contraction. When they go far away from each other, they're showing volatility expansion. Okay. No, the next batch of, so there are two courses. One is technically sorted, which is a course on technical analysis, 15 sessions, and then there's one which is indicator factory, which is a course on systems trading and indicators, which is of 5 sessions. For those who are asking, right? So we'll start soon. The next batch right now, currently both batches are going on. So October end, the next batch will start. If anybody is interested, you can contact on the number in the description box of this video. So guys, I think very interesting discussion today. Let's see how the markets take a turn going ahead, going forward. And I hope you all have got some insights and gathered some idea with these live sessions. And please forward it to your friends when I come live. Forward my Telegram channel link. I'll keep coming live sometimes during the week, and will be sharing such knowledge with all of you. Thank you so much for your precious time on the market day, working day, and I'll see you all. Take care, enjoy. And if you want to ask me any questions, you can ask. Sorry, 1 minute I'll give you. I'll ask you if you want to ask any questions. If any questions are there. No questions? Okay, so thank you so much, and once again, thanks, Ashwati. Thank you, everybody. Take care. Goodbye. Thank you, Shakti ji. Enjoy. Goodbye. Take care.